Slepsky.
Hey, and welcome back to Joe on Joe. I'm your host, Joe Slepsky, and we've got an amazing episode this week. This is the episode that everyone's been waiting for. This is the episode that is legendary amongst not only fans of G.I. Joe, but just fans of music. And who isn't a fan of music? This is the episode that gave us the band Cold Slither. Cue the applause track. And to celebrate the introduction of Cold Slither, I thought there's no one better for me in my world to talk to than a man who is a producer, he's a writer, he's a comedian, he's a friend. He is the face behind the super funny Guarcinio Hall from the Mrs. Woman production company show called 2 Minutes to Late Night. He is Mr. Jordan Olds. Jordan, welcome to Joe on Joe.
Oh, thanks for having me, Joe.
I'm so happy you're on here. You are calling in from New York City.
I am.
Where?
New York.
New York. What part of the city you live in?
I'm in Brooklyn. I have thick black glasses and an I'm gonna finish it this year tattoo sleeve, so I have to live in Brooklyn.
You have to live in Brooklyn. Yeah, there's
required.
They're required. There's checkpoints.
Yeah.
There's checkpoints at the border. I get it.
They didn't let me anywhere else.
It's not unlike Escape from New York. There's checkpoints everywhere, and when you come in, they shuffle you to a certain part of town.
That exactly. Oh man, we're already talking about my favorite movie, and this is my first episode of G.I. Joe ever. I've never seen this, but I think it's gonna be my favorite one forever.
It's hard not to with the fantastic debut of Cold Slither.
Oh my God! Well, here's the question: was this the first thing where they did like a subliminal messages and music thing? Like I know this and like the Josie and the Pussycats movie did something similar.
Well, this definitely predated Josie and the Pussycats. I mean, I think subliminal messages goes back to like Paul is Dead, right? When you spin the Beatles backwards. So as a concept, I think the concept was out there. But this is definitely the first time that Cobra put together a fake band. I know what's funny about it is I think 4 years later it might have been a boy band, because 4 years later like New Kids on the Block was popping. So that this show was produced right in the heart of like hair metal in the 80s. We got Cold Slither. Yeah. But I'm thinking if this is 1993, maybe we might have been treated to a Cobra version of a boy band.
I would have loved that. Well, I would have loved to hear what that sounded like, because I get that they're doing like hair metal in the episode. Yeah. But it also sounds just like all the vocals in both bands just sound like the Cobra band, Cold Slither, and also when G.I. Joe plays at the end. Yeah. Like, they both just sound like the Misfits song Brain Eaters. It just sounds like a bunch of just like 40-year-old men chanting. It's not even hair metal-esque.
I'm also pretty sure it's the same band that did the recording for it. Like the same sessions musicians that actually recorded the songs.
Is it supposed to be Cobra and Destro singing? Is that what I'm doing?
You know what? I haven't thought about that. Who actually laid the tracks down? I don't think they... I mean, I think they have I think it's the Dreadnoks that recorded it, right? I mean, they're in the. Well, we'll get to it. We'll get to it as we watch the show. But
I don't know.
So the Dreadnoks are So everyone listening, Jordan has never seen an episode of G.I. Joe, but he is you're way into comic geek culture. But you were a huge Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles guy coming up.
Yep. 100%.
Where were you on like Power Rangers and stuff like that?
Oh, I grew up loving Power Rangers. I don't remember a lot of it, but that was my bag as a kid. But I definitely remember. I know like all these types of shows with this style of animation.
Yeah, and I know you're a massive like Batman the Animated Series guy.
Oh my God, yeah. Yeah.
So I know Jordan.
I watched it yesterday. I love it.
I love it. I know Jordan from when he was living out in L.A. and we worked together at Golden Apple Comics. And so Golden Apple Comics is like the home for everyone awesome in the comic world out in LA. That's my opinion.
Everyone's a lovely little peach who runs through that shop.
So you moved to New York, and you've done a bunch of stuff that's notable that I want people to lay their eyes on. If you're out there, you may have seen a parody movie that came out last year It was about a 5-minute short. You know where I'm going with this. It was
Yeah, I do.
the Batman 1966 parody of The Punisher. So it's as if
Yeah.
The Punisher was a show in 1966. And the exact title of that video?
Punisher 66.
It's Punisher 66. It is hilarious. It definitely made the social media rounds. It got picked up by a few places, right?
Yeah, it got picked up by Funny or Die. We got a big write-up. It like started the internet romance that we kind of have with the AV Club.
Okay.
They like which they're like a branch of the Onion, and they're since that video they've been so kind to all the Mrs. Woman stuff.
And Mrs. Woman is your production company, right?
Yeah, which is just like we had to put something down on paper when we were making the pilot for 2 minutes, and it's just me and my roommate pretty much just putting together stuff, just trying to just going all in, being way too elaborate with what we're making.
No, but it's not though, because it's not too elaborate, because the stuff you guys make is really high quality and it's really, really good.
Thank you, Joe.
Of course. So definitely, if you're listening, seek out Punisher 66. We'll tweet it out. Which, by the way, speaking of tweeting, you can find me on Twitter and Facebook and Instagram at Joe and Joe Pod. Send me an email to joeandjoepod@gmail.com. If you want to be a guest on the show, we'll Skype you in. We'll watch an episode of G.I. Joe together. And you can find Jordan. Jordan's in a few places. So if you're on Facebook, look for Mrs. Woman Productions and give them a like and watch their stuff. It's absolutely hilarious. If you're on Twitter, you can find Jordan at Mr. Jordan Olds. It's OLDS. And if you're on Instagram, you can find Jordan at Dr. Mayor, the full word DOCTORMAYOR. So let's get into the reason why I wanted you on this show, which is your show, 2 Minutes to Late Night. You guys produced a full 20-minute pilot, and I saw the reviews that it got from places like AV Club, and it was so well received. You are the character Gwar Sinio Hall, as in Gwar the band, and you host a late night show in full. I don't want to belittle it and say Kiss-esque makeup, but it's Kiss-esque. You know, like it's Kiss. Yeah, that's the best touchstone I think for people to get.
Yeah, probably for the it's technically called like corpse paint, which is the black metal thing. It's called but yeah, it's Kiss paint.
No. If it's got a right name, let's use it. So it's corpse paint, but yeah, it's not like you're not doing like Star Child. You look you look like a demon from hell in a late night talk suit.
Yeah. And like we'll just rib each other even on the show. Like we just we just look like Juggalo lawyers. It's a mess.
Juggalo lawyers is absolutely a great way to describe it. So tell us about the show. Like sell us on the premise.
Well, I initially I was working at Vice when I came up with the idea, and I wanted to put together like a pitch. People seemed to like it, so we just kind of went all out. Yeah, no, I'd been taking guitar lessons with this with the lead singer and guitar player of this supergroup called Mutoid Man. Mm-hmm. They're members of Cave In, Converge, and then this just crazy dude named Nick. And they're always really funny, and we just got to talking, and I thought that they would be the perfect house band for that type of show. And I just thought like the goal of the show was just to really get to the root of what's cool about metal. I think the best part of it is that it's really fun. It's really flashy. There's not a lot of there's really no restraints on it. So I just I wanted to talk to metal musicians, but I also wanted to get artists from other genres to come and play in this really ridiculous, crazy sandbox with us.
And the result is a fully produced late night, just like you would see on like the Arsenio Hall show, or like late night with Seth Meyers and all this. A fully produced metal themed late night show that is absolutely ridiculous and hilarious.
Yeah, our biggest thing is just like Conan. We love Conan so much. So we wanted to it's a show that I just make with my roommate, and our bonding qualities are just like weird sketches and this specific genre of music. Who can like I don't know? He's the only person who like gets how to make fun of this like these bands.
Yeah, well, you guys totally nail it. That episode, I mean, that came out, was it last year, or I think it was early last year, right?
Yeah, I think we shot it in October of 2015. I think we put it out in June.
Yeah,
I think that's what happened. Because we were shopping it around for a little bit.
So listeners can go find that. You can definitely find that at your Facebook page. You can just find it on the internet if you do a Google search for it. 2 Minutes to Late Night. You've got a second episode that's going to drop in May, which I'm super excited to see.
Yeah, we throughout the year we've been doing smaller sketches, just with whatever bands are coming through that we have ideas for. We'll just shoot a small thing with them and then put like the stand-up comedy at the Skeleton Witch concert.
Yes, listeners, they took a bunch of stand-ups and they took them to a Skeleton Witch metal show, right? And put the stand-ups in a mosh pit and filmed them doing their normal stand-up set to the camera as they were getting tossed around in a mosh pit.
We call it. We really want it to be a reoccurring segment. It's called "Open Up This Mic." Ridiculous.
It's great.
But yeah, we kind of we're pulling a whole Hail Mary with this with like a full second 20-minute episode. We got really cool guests. We have John Baisley from the Grammy-nominated band Baroness. We have
Baroness. That's a G.I. Joe tie-in.
Yeah, I saw that. I was in the episode. I'm like, is that? Did they get their name from this? That'd be weird. That'd be so weird. Yeah, I was like, that band just got way nerdier for me. But yeah, they're gonna be on it. We have comedian Dave Hill. We went all out. Like there's new set pieces. The sound quality is gonna be of all the music is gonna be top notch. Mutoid Man wrote us a whole brand new theme song that sounds like the Muppets are on fire. It's great.
That's amazing. We cannot wait to see it. We definitely will share it with our fans when that show drops. But for now, we're going to talk Cold Slither and G.I. Joe.
Let's do it, man.
Let's do it. So you've never seen an episode of Joe before. When you were watching the episode, what characters or what do you have any questions? What stood out for you that you were like, oh, that's cool, or though that guy's interesting. I want to learn more about him.
I think the standouts were the Australian guys,
Zartan and the Dreadnoks. Yeah.
Cobra Commander, Baroness, and Destro. Like I remembered all of those. I couldn't remember a single one of the good guys. Like I didn't really know who I was. I was expecting there to be a G.I. Joe.
Okay. You're not the first person to say that, but no, there is not.
I know I'm not. I'm sure I'm not. I was a little lost. I was like, the blonde guy.
Duke.
Duke. Okay. Yeah. I thought that for a minute, I was like, okay, oh, that's G.I. Joe because he's treating like Cobra like they're his ex-girlfriend and they can't go to the party that they're at. Like every time he's like, well, it's Cobra. We can't be. I don't know if I can go, guys. Cobra will be there and it'll be weird.
I don't want to cause a scene.
I don't want to cause a scene.
You know, I'm not looking to start trouble. But listen, if the new guy's there, you tell me. I'll be there in a second, okay?
Yeah, just if Cobra's got like a new nemesis, I don't really want to hear about it.
If Nemesis Enforcer,
focus on me.
If you get to the party and Nemesis Enforcer is there, just text me. I'll be there in a second. But I don't want to cause any undue drama, so I'm just gonna chill. Okay, I'm gonna chill over here.
Yeah,
that
seems like Am I correct? Is that like him? Like he's
their top kick. Yeah, he's there. He's in charge. He runs the team.
Okay,
so he's definitely the star of the show. Yeah.
Okay. If there were a G.I. Joe, it would be he.
Well, yes and no. They actually later did introduce a character that they said the name was originally based on, and that was in order to kind of honor the the original 12-inch G.I. Joe figures from like the 60s. because there were the 12-inch figures, and then due to the escalating prices of producing the plastic, actually producing the toys, that's why they shrunk them down to make the 3 3/4, and they did the whole G.I. Joe versus Cobra thing. So they then circled back and introduced a guy named Joe Colton, which they said, and he was older. Like if most of the Joes are in their mid-30s, he was like in his mid-50s, and they said he was the inspiration for the team. So there technically is a G.I. Joe, is just not on this show. That was all like done in the toys and in the comic books later on.
That is bananas. Does Joe stand for something?
No, the term itself is an actual term that the military used called like General Issue Joe.
Right.
Like you're just an average Joe, like you're just a GI and we're, GI Joe. Like that's where the term came from.
Oh yeah, no, I recall something like that, but they didn't think to like pluralize it for the show because there's like many of them.
Well, no.
If it was called G.I. Joes, I think it would be a little less confused. I don't know.
My biggest issue with it is the period and the G and the I, and then there's the space with the Joes. So every time I type it out, whether it's on like social media or something, I'm always like, do I have to put the period and the space? Like, can't I just? It's like putting the hyphen in Spider-Man. Like we all know it's easier to write to make Spider-Man just a mensch swinging around New York, but he has a hyphen.
Yeah.
Spider-Man, Mr. Spider-Man. All right. Well, this is fantastic. We're going to get into the episode right now. So Mr. Jordan Olds, producer, writer, comedian, Arsenio Hall himself, thank you for joining us. And we're going to watch Cold Slither. So sit down in your chair like that stereo guy. Get ready to be blown away by the sound of your stereo as we delve into Cobra and Cold Slither.
I'm so excited.
So, Jordan, this is your first time watching the cartoon. What are your thoughts on the animation style?
I'm familiar with the animation style. Where it just seems like it's 3 frames per second. It's clear like they had really good ideas for the the character designs, but they just did not. They don't have the money.
Oh, see, I'm going to push back on that. I think it looks great, especially for the time. This was still hand-drawn stuff,
Oh,
this was pre-computer.
The intro is great.
Yeah.
I love it.
I will agree with you, though. I love the intro. The animation on this episode, though, I do agree that you could see as we get further and further into this first season, the budgets kind of were dropping a little bit. Like they are not as tight. That's what I'm noticing over the course of this. So we've got Cold Slither. It's written by Michael Charles Hill.
Ooh.
So
the full career he's had.
Hey, we just did an episode written by Denny O'Neil from Batman.
Are you serious?
Oh yeah, Paul Dini.
Denny was on this.
Yeah, Paul Dini did an episode. Like, there's a lot of people that really came through here.
Oh wow. That girl just looks exactly. That's just April O'Neil in a brown jacket.
Well, I blame Turtles for stealing her. That was CoverGirl. She is a supermodel / soldier.
Did the Turtles comic book come out before this was a show, or how did that
comic book? Yeah, the comic book came out after this show.
G.I. Joe.
Yeah. Okay. I don't think maybe design-wise of the cartoon, maybe there was some influence, but I don't see much, because CoverGirl was very minor. She was a real minor G.I. Joe character.
That dude's voice, the guy who just sped away, who had the
that's Major Blood.
Major Blood. Like that dude's voice is in everything, and he always is doing some kind of vague accent that isn't a real accent. Like, I think he's on the animated Spider-Man show also, like, trying to do an Australian accent, but it just sounds like he's brushing his teeth.
Well, this is huge. So the Joes were attacking a kind of a desert base, and the Cobras have the Mona Lisa. Cobra Commander has the Mona Lisa.
And it's like she's being sassy. Like, she doesn't look like the stoic. She's like kind of like a ooh,
hey, Cobra Commander, thanks for keeping me as a kept woman.
I love this whole scene.
Yeah. Yeah.
In the unemployment line.
It's so great. Yeah, they're in their costume. What's amazing about this episode is everyone remembers it for being Cold Slither, which is amazing. But it's actually really, there's a lot going on here because it's really about Cobra being bankrupt.
Yeah, that's the funniest thing is that he's like out of funds and he has to pay his loan shark. Like it's like fun with Dick and Jane, but with Cobra Commander.
100% that. Yes, 100% that.
Yeah.
Once again, Cobra Commander breaks into the guys are watching. The G.I. Joe team's watching a football game, and Cobra Commander breaks into the TV broadcast. Cobra Commander is always breaking into TV broadcasts, Jordan. I don't know if you're aware of this.
I did not know.
He's the Max Headroom of terrorism. He breaks into more TV broadcasts than like anybody ever.
I love it. It's got to be like that's a reason to watch cable in this universe is because you never know what's going to happen. Maybe he'll show up and say something fun.
Right? Some vaguely threatening thing. I mean, even in a day like today where, ISIS and actual real world issues, they release videos. Like, it's not like they're interrupting The Young and the Restless to be hey, America, hey, housewives, here's a beheading. Cobra Commander's always just like, guess what? We're out of money.
Extensive enterprises was in the real estate business.
I also love that this plan in like it's just him like baiting them to come to the fortress.
Yes, yeah.
Or whatever. Like if they just ignored the message, nothing would have happened in this episode.
Totally.
They just chilled.
For our listeners, we've got Cobra Commander Cobra's gone bankrupt. They're getting foreclosed on, though. I don't know if you know this, Jordan. Those two dudes in the twins with the scar on his face, they're part of Cobra.
Are they? Are they in other episodes?
Oh yeah, they're partners with Cobra. Like they're not like Extensive is separate so that it can operate legally and still fund Cobra. But they're bad guys, totally bad guys. They're like payday loan sharks. They're like they're putting the squeeze on Cobra when they're a part of Cobra.
I love these two, like Cobra and the other guy just sneaking into an R-rated movie.
Yeah, totally. By the way, can we talk about this guy?
I love this guy.
This guy who looks like Jack Kirby's head on Puck from Alpha Flight's body. This is like,
oh my god!
Yeah,
I can't believe that's in the episode. It's great.
He is he is a little person, a dwarf, and he's some kind of loan shark.
Yeah,
and he's a combination of Danny DeVito and what's his name from Goodfellas, Joe Pesci.
Joe Pesci, yeah. But he's just like every girl on Tinder's worst nightmare. Like he can't use proper language or grammar.
100% that. And his payment is he wants to see Cobra Commander's face. So we're going in a commercial with Cobra Commander about to be bad touched.
G.I. Joe will return after these messages.
Today's Filecard features on the G.I. Joe infantry trooper codenamed Footloose. His file name is Andrew D. Myers. His primary military specialty is infantry. His secondary military specialty is special services, specifically a basketball coach. And he is from Gary, Indiana, a grade E4. Myers was valedictorian of his high school class, captain of the track team, and an Eagle Scout. He was going for his degree in physical education on a state scholarship when he suddenly dropped out, moved to the coast, and became quite weird for about 3 years. He was standing on the boardwalk in Venice, pondering something cosmic, when the utter pointlessness of his existence hit him right between the eyes like a runaway freight train. "I think I'll join the Army," he said, and promptly did. He took basic and AIT at Fort Benning, graduated jump school and desert training unit. He's a qualified expert in all NATO and Warsaw Pact small arms. Some of the Joes think that Footloose is out there, but all he's trying to do is find himself. He's the all-American boy who got lost on the way to the fair, and he's simply trying to get home any which way he can. Most folks think they know who they are and where they're going. They're the dangerous ones. We've talked about Footloose a lot on this show because whenever he comes up, he's always got that California stoner in him, and he's got leaves on his helmet, which make it look like he's walking around with pot leaves, and he just sounds high all the time. This episode is no different. I've always liked Footloose. It's funny, though, he's an infantry trooper, so he and Grunt are buddies. He's basically an enhanced version of Grunt. Did come with a cool helmet with the leaves on it, all camo outfit. He was kind of like Dusty. I think they paired up him and Dusty a lot in the show because they're actually quite similar. One's desert and one's just general infantry. But the best thing about Footloose, besides the stoner attitude and cosmic attitude, I love that they call it, quote, get weird for about 3 years. They must not have had a stringent drug policy, is that he's got a fantastic mustache. He's got a Burt Reynolds-esque mustache, and that cannot be denied. So Footloose, Andrew D. Myers, we salute you.
Now back to G.I. Joe.
Oh, so Cobra Commander is getting bad touched by Danny DeVito.
Yeah. Have we ever seen Cobra Commander's face?
No. They hint at it. In the movie, they show you his face, but it's after he's been infected with like some pollen spores, so it's not really his face. It's like a cobra face. But they've hinted at it, though, and they've hinted that it's
in the live-action movie?
No, in the animated. There's an animated movie.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and there was an episode where Destro walked in on him eating, and just the act of him eating grossed Destro out.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So
what do you think his face looks like?
Well, I don't think he's horribly. See, I don't subscribe to that he's horribly disfigured. And maybe that's from the comic book, because in the comic he wasn't disfigured at all. He just wore the mask. He wore the mask because he obviously for anonymity, but that he could be any man. You know, like Cobra. That's why it's a mirrored face mask, because like he's looking at you like you could be Cobra Commander. You know, like. He's just a dude.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I mean, he's one step shy of being
actually really cool.
Yeah, he's one step shy of being a Trump voter. You know, like this country's not doing enough. You know, we forgot about the forgotten man, and you know, right? So, but on the cartoon,
respect for Cobra.
Yeah, on the cartoon, I think they definitely.
That guy's my dad. That dude.
The Zartan? It's your dad?
Zartan is Gorsanio's dad for sure.
Oh. So Zartan and the Dreadnoks, they live in the swamps.
Yeah, they live in the swamp, and I love when he pushes this button. It just turns into a Star Trek.
Super high tech.
Deck.
Yeah. So Zartan, he is the master of disguise. He actually, strangely, the disguises for the rock band isn't really that much of a disguise. Like you could still tell it's them.
Yeah,
in other episodes,
always looks like that.
Right. In other episodes, they're always full face masks.
But in the band, he just wears his Abbott paint.
Yes, with a wig. Yeah, that's it.
With a wig, sure.
Yeah. Like every other episode, he's a recent one. He wore two masks. He wore a mask of an alien and then a mask of an Arab dude, and then he had his face.
I love that the Cobra's plan is to steal money and then use that to fund a music video to thus get more money. Like, he didn't go and steal more money. Like, it has to fund his elaborate Indiegogo plan to take over the world.
Listen, man, everyone wants to be a rock and roll star. Like, everyone wants to be a rock star.
This is my favorite.
Slither, you'll be joining us soon. A band of so good. And for the record, Jordan, I want your band, because I know you. Are you actually in a band these days? Like in an actual? Because I know out here you were.
Oh, I have. I have some projects. I mainly do like a punk karaoke band that plays every other month. And it's a lot of fun.
Is there any chance that you guys can learn Cold Slither?
I don't even know what instruments they use to make that song. It doesn't sound like there's actually a guitar in it, even though they're all playing guitars.
Right.
This is my favorite, is that they're using weird actual film terminology to complain about what the band is doing.
Yeah. Well, that director, actually, that's the same director. There was a previous episode where they did a movie, and they're using the same character model. So in my world, he's the same director. in the G.I. Joe universe, there's one guy who directs everything.
Oh, I love it. He's like the guy. He's the Guy Ritchie of the G.I. Joe universe. Exactly. He's doing music videos and movies.
Yeah, exactly. The Dreadnoks are just destroying all the instruments for the video. It's amazing.
It's amazing.
Yeah. This song is so catchy.
So rock and roll.
It's so good. Oh, there's a flamethrower. Torch just brings his flamethrower.
I love, just burn the whole damn thing. This I remember. I like. This is it's weird that they're destroying that's in a subliminal video.
Yeah.
That is super punk to literally burn your music video set.
Yeah.
The Cold Slither rules. Sorry, Cold Slither rules.
For a share of the profits. We are your new partners.
So here we go now. This is a scene straight out of that show, that HBO show, Vinyl, where the Crimson Twins shake Cobra down for profits.
I have never seen Vinyl. I heard it's
you and most
bad.
people. Yeah, it was okay. Actually, a friend of mine was on it.
Yeah,
and he was great. I liked a lot of it, but it didn't go anywhere. But that's what that scene was. Just coming in here going, we're going to shake you down for these profits. Even though, again, they're partners.
In the world, but
this dude, this member of the team with the mustache.
Yes.
Super Mario,
yes.
Safari. I love him.
It is Bazooka. He is great. And he just hits a golf ball. That's the best golf ball ever.
Is this your idea of a joke?
So the Joes are on. The Joes, since Cobra is now bankrupt, the Joes are completely bored out of their mind. They're having barbecues. They're swimming. Breaker and Shipwreck are watching MTV, presumably.
But not
Shipwreck's
looking
reading a monster magazine.
Yeah,
the guy with the camouflage, Jordan. That's Footloose. Yeah. He's super high. They never say it, but listen to when he speaks. He's so high.
Oh, he's super high. I love it. Yeah. So it's just like that's weed on his hat.
It totally is.
You know, it's the thing. Like I remember, I'm like weirdly familiar with a lot of these character models because of the Venture Brothers.
Oh yeah.
I'm familiar with the intro and stuff because the Venture Brothers parodied it so well.
Yep. Venture Brothers is so great. You turned me on to them.
It's my favorite show.
It's so brilliant. So
and this is just adding to my appreciation of it. So thank you.
Good. So the Joes who were watching the video, they get brainwashed, and they just steal a vehicle. Footloose is just shooting. Well, Shipwreck's shooting at them. So we're going into a commercial break with the Joes brainwashed and escaping.
After these messages.
It's the Joes. Where's the new Cobra commander?
Here, with the new Cobra Pogo. Now it's in front of you. Now it's behind. Raptor, let's take off an attack.
Cobra! Joe's got trouble. He's got his man. Look, Cobra's got a pogo and it's up his man. Cut back. You and Tunnel Rock set up a slam defense. Run forward, gun.
G.I. Joe Cobra!
G.I. Joe, American heroes. What will happen? Find out in Marvel Comics.
Now back to G.I. Joe.
So they're escaping the base with a stolen Jeep, shooting at their own guys. So there's something really bad in that video.
Yeah, it's so bad.
Because they have to get to that sports arena.
Yeah, they have to go right now. Have they always had laser guns for some reason?
Yes, they always use lasers. Yeah, they use
Cold
lasers.
Slither is a rock band.
And look at Scarlett educating Duke like it's a rock band, you silly old man.
Yeah, I don't. I've never listened to music.
I'm too busy running this tight ship of pool goers, barbecue havers, and golf players.
I'm too busy designing all of our outfits.
Look at that set, dude. Look at that Cobra set.
I love it. I think they look great. They're they have the best looking.
So good, dude. It's so good. Do you hear him, Footloose?
Amazing.
He's so high.
Brainwashed and still so high.
To quote you, he did all the drugs.
He did every drug and still got brainwashed.
Yeah.
Still effective.
So even the soldiers that come to round up the Joes that went AWOL, they get brainwashed too. So Cobra's plan is actually really good. It's really working.
Yeah, no, good on them. It's because they put together a really BA music video.
Yeah, and it's not terribly unlike let's say the Grateful Dead, where it's just one song over and over and over again.
Oh yeah, 100%. It's
okay.
They only wrote one song. They're playing a stadium with one song.
Yes, absolutely.
Amazing. I think that see how well this works though. I feel like this is probably what Cobra was meant to do, is just be just like the Lord of music production.
Right?
He knew how to put this together.
Well, if they operated as more of a cult, right, instead of a terrorist organization, they would be massive. They would totally get people.
Yeah.
Out. They would, if they just, you know what I mean? Like the subtle difference there, where like instead of trying to attack all these, do these giant terrorist attacks, they've just said, hey, we're a cult of dudes that hate society and want to take down the government. Come join us and listen to our sweet, sweet tunes. They'd be totally popular.
Oh, they absolutely would. Is the guy in the hood also Cobra?
Yes, same. Yeah,
Why
he wears.
Does he change his? Why does that happen?
So they could sell more toys. That's so they can sell more toys.
Oh, okay.
The
so it's like
silver
Cobra.
Yeah, the face mask is more for battle, when he goes into battle, and the hood is when he's just chilling. Did
they release this song on like a single? Did you buy the song?
Not that I know of. I'm sure that people have covered it and done recordings of it. I don't know. I've only ever heard the Joe version of it. I know they put out recently. People have put out like T-shirts with Cold Slither on it. It's fantastic. And here we go. Once again, the Cobra work ethic is starting to show and really breaks down their plans, because in mid-show the Dreadnoks just quit because they're bored. Because we know they're not playing the actual instruments. And Sartan is left on stage alone.
Yeah, I want a bonus episode of this with just Cobra, Baroness, and Destro just in the studio. Mm-hmm. Just like a studio diary. I think that'd be like really funny. Of just like Destro trying to record the solo but is having a really hard time.
This is an amazing scene. So they just said we do the work, he gets the money, and then we're immediately shown why that relationship is okay for most musicians, because you go in the green room and you get women.
Yeah.
And there are 3 women there who end up karate chopping them. Turns out they're the G.I. Joe team.
Yeah, a groupie ruse. That's
okay, boys, you got.
That's like
look at the leg warmers.
Look at children's.
Look at the leg warmers on Lady J. Jordan. Did you see those?
I did. I loved them.
She's got.
I wish I had them.
Giant white leg warmers. Oh, it's so great.
It's so great. They don't even look. They're not even fitting right. They look like just actual sweat pants.
Looks like her legs are in full body casts.
She broke both shins.
She broke all the shins.
All the shins.
All the shins. So the three Lady Joes, it's CoverGirl and Lady J and Scarlet. They're wearing earplugs so they don't hear the subliminal messages. So they're
doing everything in this episode.
No, we know you're
They were like CoverGirl was in the first scene.
Mm-hmm.
And I loved it also.
So great.
They just jumped into a fried Oreo stand and defeated themselves.
I love it. And this is great. So the Joes get a hold of the subliminal messaging system, and instead of just freeing them, they actually use it to humiliate Cobra. They get the whole crowd to chant bad things about Cobra.
Yeah.
I love it. So they're like, hey, this is a cool system. Let's that's great.
Cobra's ugly.
Cobra's terrible.
Subliminal thing back to headquarters.
Cobra smells like rotten milk. Let's hear it, team.
Cobra cheats on their taxes. What Wow, okay, the animation of Scarlet using the buzzsaw on the panel, that was very metal.
I love that they're just chanting that they would like to have some music.
Yeah.
Vague music. Any music.
Any music. They want music. And so, of course, the Joes, who are trained soldiers, they're not, to my understanding, musicians
Have they ever
at
played
all.
a song?
No. The closest they ever got is that Shipwreck and Snake Eyes danced back up on an episode in order to escape Cobras that were like looking for them. They went in disguise.
Oh my God.
And here we go with the Average Joe Band. Now, rock and roll does play music, and actually, you know what? Footloose plays music. So the only questionable one here is Duke and Shipwreck.
Yeah.
Rock and roll, definitely, he's a musician. Footloose is a musician. The girls have great voices.
Yeah. I love that they're playing their own theme song. Does the theme song exist in the show? Usually?
Well, now it does. If you look at this as canon, they've now just introduced their own theme song into their own world. So someone in that crowd bootlegged this song, and they released it on like a cassette tape, and it ran the bootleg circuits.
How?
This is like the night Dylan went electric.
I love that it's
the flag, by the way, only celebrating the first 13 colonies.
Yeah, I was gonna say not going full in. It's God, this is the most cocaine show of all time. And then they'll play their own theme song, man. It'll be awesome. It'll be insane. Everyone's gonna love it.
If you break down the plot of it, by the end of the show, Cobra's still bankrupt.
I know, they did nothing. So he spent all that money and just didn't. He could have just used that money to like pay off the debt, like his secret base mortgage.
Yeah, try to get his hands back on that beautiful Mona Lisa.
I don't want to be a tax dodger.
So Cobra's technically still broke, and now they also owe money to Danny DeVito.
Yeah, they have to pay off their. They owe money to Danny DeVito. They probably also have to pay off their audio engineer for the single.
Yep.
They burned an entire set.
It looked like a union production, so that can't be cheap.
Yeah, no, of course not. No,
they rented out the stadium
to the lot.
Right. Security,
it's gonna be a mess.
Security for the stadium, taxes, insurance, like. After you get the Joes show up and a big fight breaks out, I mean, that's got to cost some money on insurance, right?
Oh, yeah, 100%. Well, this Cobra is solving financial problems like me. Like, oh, no, I'm in a bind. Let's make a whole nother production.
Like a true artist, they never know when the next one's going to hit.
Oh, never. I do genuinely wish that they would make like a behind-the-scenes episode of them like in the studio.
Oh, like behind the music.
Yeah, like or just like a studio diary. I think of them making that song would be so funny. Just them like on social media and stuff, just like,
so we've been in the studio for hours.
Well,
Destro got too drunk, so he couldn't do his vocals today.
Can I recommend Mrs. Woman do a live version of what that would look like?
I would love to do that. I think it would be so funny.
Okay, so that's our challenge.
We'll get
we'll get on that by 2018.
We'll get the people that we'll get you, and then like the 15 other people who would get what's going on with that.
Oh yeah, it would be absolutely hilarious. Just because it's only funny to about 15 people doesn't mean it's not funny, Jordan. Remember
exactly.
That's my rule of comedy.
Listen, I'm not gonna branch out into a more mainstream thing now.
Yeah,
like, I'm making a lot of progress with this niche business.
It worked for Dennis Miller. Why can't it work for me? Jordan Olds, thank you so much for doing this. This was awesome. This was everything I could have dreamed it would have been.
Oh, Joe, it was lovely to be here. Thank you for having me, man.
Now, does this inspired you? You gonna go watch more G.I. Joe?
I'm on it. Probably. I want you to please email me like a list of episodes that are just as insane.
Just as bonkers.
Like I want, like if there's like I'm trying to think of like weird tropes that would be in the show. Like if there's like a episode where G.I. Joe has to sneak in somewhere dressed in drag, I want to see that.
Okay, that's a thing.
Is that actually just?
Oh yeah,
episode?
I actually described it earlier when Snake Eyes and Shipwreck had to go in disguise. They were dressed in drag. So Jordan, remember, people can find you. Go on Facebook, look for Mrs. Woman Productions, Twitter at Mr. Jordan Olds, Instagram Dr. Mayer. You find me at Joe on Joe Pod. And if you're out there listening on like iTunes or Stitcher or something like that, wherever you find your podcast, give me a rating, review me, let me know. Let me know what you think. If the show's terrible, be like, oh, it's the worst show ever, or if it's the best show ever. But either way, ratings help us because all the podcast gods see the ratings and then they end up promoting them on their own channel. So please tell your friends about Joe on Joe. We're growing every month. Jordan Olds, thank you so much. We're going to be looking out for 2 Minutes to Late Night, a new episode coming in May.
Yeah, thanks, man. Yeah, it's coming in May. We haven't picked an actual release date for it, but when we get closer to the end of April, we'll be, putting that out.
Awesome.
For everybody.
I cannot wait, my friend. You're the best.
Thank you, sir.
And
thank you, Joe Slepsky.
Oh.
5 stars for Joe Slepsky. And the Joe on Joe podcast.
And thank you, listeners. And now you Joe, and Joeing is half the battle.